Chosen one, listen very carefully. Something extraordinary has just shifted in your destiny, and you can feel it in your soul even if you can't explain it with words. A door you didn't knock on has opened. A blessing you didn't chase has found you. A property, a gift, a divine opportunity, something hidden, something sealed, something completely unexpected has just been assigned to your name by Allah. And the moment you discover its address, it will shock you. Because this blessing didn't come through people, connections, or effort, it came through divine command. It came quietly, privately, without noise or announcement, because Allah wanted it to reach you safely. And now, you stand at the edge of a chapter that was written for you long before you were born. So sit with this, breathe, and listen closely, because what you are about to learn will make you understand exactly why this secret property became yours, why it arrived now, and what Allah is preparing you for next. Chosen one, understand this with every breath in your chest. When Allah decides that something belongs to you, there is no human, no jinn, no system, no jealousy, no delay, no plot, and no force in the heavens or the earth that can block it from reaching your hands, your heart, or your life. What Allah writes for you travels through walls you cannot see, timelines you don't understand, and dimensions you cannot comprehend. It moves quietly while you sleep. It shifts while you worry. It aligns while you doubt. And it manifests the moment Allah says, be. People can hide opportunities, but they cannot hide destiny. They can speak against you, but they cannot silence a decree. They can push you out, but they cannot stop what is already coming toward you. You may feel unprepared, unworthy, or unsure, but Allah does not give by accident. He gives with perfect wisdom. Sometimes He delays what's yours, so your heart matures. Sometimes He withholds, so you learn patience. And sometimes He protects it in silence, so no enemy can intercept it. But when the time arrives, when the script reaches the scene written for you, it comes with divine force, unstoppable momentum, and miraculous precision. This secret property that suddenly became yours wasn't luck, wasn't coincidence, wasn't random. It was something Allah wrote long before you even knew such a blessing existed. Its address didn't change. You simply arrived at the chapter where your name matched the decree. And no matter who tried to block you, outshine you, replace you, or outrun you, Allah made sure the blessing recognized your soul before your hands ever touched it. That is why nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what Allah has already sent your way. Chosen one, you need to realize that nothing you went through was wasted. Not a single tear, not a single heartbreak, not a single lonely night when you were crying quietly into your pillow, asking Allah why life felt so heavy, why people treated you the way they did, why doors stayed closed no matter how hard you tried. Every struggle you carried in silence was actually a seed you were planting without even knowing it. Every moment you remained patient instead of exploding. Every time you forgave when you could have fought back. Every sacrifice you made without recognition. Every good deed you performed when nobody was watching. Allah collected all of it, preserved all of it, and stored all of it in the unseen, as if preparing a garden waiting for the right season to bloom. And now, that season has arrived. You thought you were just surviving, just holding on, just trying not to break. But Allah was using those silent struggles to build strength, purity, depth, and wisdom inside you. People didn't see your effort, but Allah saw every step. People didn't appreciate your sincerity, but Allah recorded every intention. People didn't value your heart, but Allah shaped it into something rare and powerful. This secret property, this sudden blessing that has appeared out of nowhere, is the harvest of 1,000 moments where you chose faith over anger, patience over panic, goodness over ego, and endurance over despair. You didn't recognize the construction happening behind the scenes, but Allah was preparing something that required your tears to water it and your patience to protect it. Now, what you planted in pain is returning to you in abundance. This blessing is the proof that your quiet suffering was never a punishment. It was an investment. And today, you are finally holding the harvest of everything you endured in silence. Chosen one, you must understand this truth. Every time someone tried to block you, belittle you, replace you, undermine you, or strip something valuable from your hands, Allah was watching, not with ignorance, not with silence, but with divine precision, preparing a replacement so powerful that the very people who tried to hurt you will be left speechless when they see what you have now. You endured situations where people took advantage of your kindness, stole your ideas, used your sincerity, drained your energy, spread lies about you, and tried to make you feel small just so they could feel superior. Some wanted you to fail. Some wanted you to remain stuck. Some couldn't stand the thought of you rising higher than them. Some pretended to support you but secretly hoped you would collapse. But every time they took something from you, Allah wrote a greater compensation. Every time they tried to break your confidence, Allah was building a stronger version of you behind the scenes. Every time they closed a door, Allah prepared a whole new building for you to walk into. You lost friendships, opportunities, relationships, money, time, and so much emotional energy, but none of it was truly a loss, because Allah never lets His chosen servants be robbed without preparing a miracle to replace what was taken. This secret property, this unexpected blessing that suddenly became yours, is that divine replacement. It is Allah returning to you what people tried to deny you, but multiplied, purified, elevated, and protected. It is proof that no human can take what was written for you, no matter how much they strategize, gossip, or plot. And the most beautiful part? Allah didn't give it back to shame them. He gave it back so you would finally see that your worth was never in their hands, and your destiny was never theirs to control. They tried to take something temporary from you, but Allah gave you something eternal, a blessing that carries your name, your purpose, your future, and your honor, and this time, no one can take it away. Chosen one. You must understand with every fiber of your being that when Allah intends to bestow a blessing upon you, a blessing that is rare, life-changing, and perfectly aligned with your destiny, He will never allow it to be exposed too early, because not every eye that watches you hopes for your success, not every tongue that speaks around you wishes you peace, and not every smile you encounter celebrates the elevation Allah has written for you. There were people around you, some close, some pretending, some silently observing, whose hearts carried storms of envy, whose minds were clouded with resentment, and whose souls became restless the moment they sensed your potential. They may have smiled, praised, or appeared kind, yet behind that facade was jealousy that could have destroyed what Allah had destined for you if it were revealed too soon. Allah knew the hidden malice, the secret whispers, the veiled attempts to diminish your worth, and He acted with divine wisdom. So He wrapped your blessing in layers of protection, shielding it from eyes that could not appreciate its sanctity, from hearts that would have poisoned it, and from tongues that might have turned it into envy. This is why it arrived quietly, in a way that shocked you yet remained hidden from those who would have sought to sabotage it. You did not see it coming, because Allah, in His infinite mercy, hid it even from you, ensuring that you would receive it in its purest, most potent form, free from interference, free from contamination, and free from envy. Many people mistakenly believe that delayed blessings are a sign of neglect, but often they are delayed because they must be cultivated in secrecy, nurtured in silence, and preserved until the recipient's heart, mind, and soul are ready to carry them responsibly. Like a seed growing deep underground, protected from harsh weather and prying eyes, your blessing developed quietly, gaining strength, depth, and resilience until it was ready to rise at the perfect moment, fully formed and unstoppable. Allah knew how fragile beginnings can be. He knew that exposure to the wrong hearts could diminish or destroy your divine inheritance. He knew that if revealed too early, it could bring temptation, arrogance, or harm instead of fulfillment, growth, and spiritual elevation. That is why your blessing was not late, not delayed, not forgotten. It was preserved, protected, and nurtured for the exact time when it would bring maximum benefit, maximum impact, and maximum alignment with your destiny. And now, chosen one, the blessing has arrived, perfectly timed, fully intact, and beyond interference. It comes to you in silence, because Allah gives loudly only when there is no threat. But He gives silently when the blessing is too precious, too sacred, too powerful, and too transformative to be touched by envy, greed, or malice. Nothing can undo it, nothing can contaminate it, and nothing can overpower it. It has been delivered with divine precision, so that you may receive, nurture, and honor it in a way that is worthy of Allah's plan. And the most profound truth is this: Allah hid this blessing because what He planned for you is far beyond what anyone else can see or comprehend. It is a secret between you and Him, protected from jealous eyes, nurtured in the unseen, and given to you at the perfect moment so that it can ignite your destiny, elevate your life, and set the stage for the even greater blessings that are yet to come. Today, chosen one, your blessing is yours, alone, untouched, uncorrupted, perfectly guarded, and divinely timed, a proof that Allah's wisdom is flawless, His protection is complete, and His favor upon you is beyond measure. Chosen one, understand this with the deepest certainty. The blessing that has just entered your life, this secret property, this unexpected divine gift, did not arrive sooner because Allah knew the earlier versions of you were not yet ready to carry it with the integrity, patience, and wisdom it required. You were not late, and you were never forgotten. You were in a sacred process of preparation. Allah had to refine you in ways the world could never see, through trials that seemed unbearable, through moments that felt isolating, and through circumstances that appeared unfair. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every loss, every disappointment, and every test you endured was not punishment. It was the divine shaping of a soul meant for greatness. The version of you from the past, the one who trusted too easily, loved too freely, forgave too often, or was blinded by the allure of what seemed immediate, could not have carried the weight, protection, or responsibility that this blessing required. That version of you might have shared sacred opportunities with the wrong people, or allowed envy, greed, or carelessness to corrupt something Allah intended to be pure and life-changing. That version of you carried wounds that needed healing, attachments that needed severing, insecurities that needed confronting, and hopes that were misaligned with your true destiny. Allah, in His infinite mercy and wisdom, kept this blessing hidden until your heart, mind, and soul reached the spiritual altitude required to receive it fully. Every moment of isolation, every trial that tested your patience, every delay that felt like rejection, was actually spiritual training. He removed people who could have derailed your progress, stripped away habits that dulled your clarity, and purified your intentions so that when the blessing arrived, it would not be tainted by distraction, doubt, or deception. He made you walk through seasons of loneliness so that your reliance on Him would be absolute. He made you face betrayals so that your discernment would sharpen. He allowed storms to hit your life so that your endurance would strengthen, and He permitted falls not to crush you, but to teach you the art of rising with humility, faith, and courage. Through every tear, every unanswered dua, and every moment of confusion, something inside you was silently transforming. Your dua became richer, your trust in Allah deeper, your insight keener, your patience steadier, your heart more aligned with truth, and your soul more capable of carrying weight that ordinary people cannot even imagine. You did not notice the transformation as it happened, but Allah was methodically, invisibly, and lovingly upgrading your entire being, your spiritual rank, your emotional resilience, your mental clarity, your moral compass, just as He elevated the hearts and destinies of His prophets and righteous servants through trials that seemed insurmountable. This secret property, this blessing that appears miraculous and sudden to you now, is a direct reflection of that transformation. You leveled up, chosen one. You became someone who can see dunya for what it truly is, and who understands the fleeting nature of worldly desires in light of akhirah. You became someone who can trust Allah even when circumstances are unclear, who can endure delays with faith, who can navigate blessings without arrogance, and who can accept trials without losing hope. You are now someone whose discipline can protect, whose gratitude can elevate, and whose heart can steward responsibilities far beyond what the old version of you could imagine. Allah did not give this blessing to you prematurely, because the old you could have mishandled it, misjudged it, or been distracted by it. He gave it now because He perfected you to receive it, honor it, and grow it. And now, after all the preparation, all the refining, all the testing, and all the spiritual shaping, you stand as a soul who has endured storms, passed tests, cultivated patience, strengthened reliance on Allah, and matured inwardly and outwardly. This blessing is not simply a gift, it is a graduation, a divine confirmation that you have reached a new level in your spiritual journey, a level at which you are capable of receiving, protecting, and honoring the destiny Allah wrote exclusively for you. And the most powerful truth, chosen one, is that this is only the beginning, a signal that Allah is ready to entrust you with even greater responsibilities, higher ranks, more profound blessings, and sacred opportunities that the world cannot comprehend. You have been upgraded, purified, and prepared for a future that is divinely aligned, and what Allah has placed in your hands now is proof that the soul you are today is the only soul capable of carrying the destiny He has written for you. Walk into it with faith, humility, and gratitude, and know that your spiritual elevation has made you worthy of receiving the extraordinary that was always intended for you. Chosen one. You may not fully grasp this yet, but the blessing that has suddenly appeared in your life, this secret property, this unexpected gift, This shift that feels almost unreal is not just a reward, it is a divine announcement that you are being prepared for leadership, responsibility, and influence on a level you never imagined. Allah does not place weighty blessings in the hands of ordinary souls. He chooses the hearts He has shaped through storms, carved through struggle, refined through loneliness, matured through loss, and elevated through trials. And everything you endured up to this moment was not random suffering. It was leadership training disguised as hardship. Think back to your darkest nights, the moments you cried silently asking Allah why you had to carry so much pain, why you had to stand alone, why you had to be the strong one, the patient one, the silent one. Those moments weren't signs of abandonment, they were divine calibrations. Allah was preparing you to hold responsibilities that require emotional strength, spiritual discipline, and moral clarity. He made you walk difficult paths so you could later guide others through theirs. He allowed people to betray you so you could recognize real loyalty when it enters your life. He let doors slam in your face so you would learn perseverance. He placed you in situations where you had to save yourself with nothing but tawakkul, so you could develop the courage needed to lead from a place of sincerity, trust, and wisdom. Leadership in the sight of Allah is not about titles. It's about endurance, humility, and righteousness. It's about having a heart strong enough to carry others, but soft enough to never forget where you came from. And you, chosen one, were shaped precisely for that balance. This blessing is the first proof of it. Allah is placing something valuable in your hands because He intends for you to shape something valuable in the world. The blessing is not the destination, it is the assignment. It is the beginning of a responsibility that will require you to rise above your old self, detach from old environments, and walk with a level of discipline and clarity that only leaders possess. And understand this: leadership in Allah's path is different from leadership in dunya. Dunya gives leadership to those with loud voices. Allah gives leadership to those with pure hearts. Dunya gives leadership to the ones who demand attention. Allah gives leadership to the ones who can carry blessings without arrogance and carry burdens without breaking. Dunya gives power to the ones who chase it. Allah gives power to the ones who run from ego. And because you have been trained through pain, because you have been humbled through loss, because your ego has been softened through trials, Allah now entrusts you with something He would never give to someone whose heart is unprepared. This blessing will require new habits, new boundaries, and new levels of focus. It will push you into situations where others look to you for wisdom, direction, and strength, even if you don't see yourself that way yet. That's the thing about Allah's chosen leaders. They rarely see themselves as leaders, but Allah sees what is in their heart long before they see it in themselves. This blessing is not just a gift. It is Allah saying, "You are ready, you have passed. You can carry what others cannot." And that is why He hid this blessing from people who would have minimized your worth, mocked your dreams, or tried to hold you back. They were never meant to witness your rise. They were only meant to sharpen it. Now the blessing has arrived, not in chaos, but in divine timing, a sign that your role is changing, your rank is elevating, and your purpose is unfolding. You are stepping into a chapter where people will come to you for guidance, where your presence will influence environments, where your character will inspire others without you even speaking. You are entering a stage where Allah will use you as a vessel to help, to uplift, to protect, to advise, to restore, to lead. But here is the most profound truth. Allah is preparing you for leadership not because you seek it, but because you have shown again and again that your heart leans toward truth, justice, sincerity, and compassion, even when you are in pain yourself. That is the hallmark of a true leader. And this blessing is the sign that your training is transitioning into purpose. Everything you went through was necessary. Every delay was divine. Every loss had meaning. Every heartbreak was molding you. Every tear was watering your destiny. And now, you stand at the doorway of a new identity, one Allah has chosen, prepared, and elevated. So step into this blessing with humility, honor it with gratitude, and protect it with wisdom. Because this is not just something you received, this is something you were chosen to carry. And it marks the beginning of a leadership journey written for you long before you were ever tested. Chosen one, take a deep breath and listen with every fiber of your being. The blessing that has just entered your life, this secret property, this divine shift, this opportunity that seemed sudden, shocking, and almost too good to be true, is only the beginning. It is the introduction to a chapter of your life that Allah has been writing long before you were born, long before you understood your own potential, long before the people who tried to block you even existed. Everything you have experienced up to this point, the delays, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the failures, the loneliness, the trials that shook you to your core, was carefully orchestrated to prepare you for what is coming next. The blessing that has found you now is a glimpse, a taste, a signal that Allah is about to open doors that the world cannot even imagine. What you see is only the surface, and what you feel is only the beginning. The universe may appear calm, but in the unseen, destinies are shifting, mountains are moving, and divine forces are aligning to position you exactly where you are meant to be. The people who doubted you will soon witness the magnitude of what Allah has been planning, and those who envied you will see the justice of divine timing unfold. Do not misunderstand, this blessing is not the peak. It is a sign, a confirmation, a spark that points to the fire that is about to ignite in your life. Allah does not give in halves when He intends greatness. He starts quietly, invisibly, deliberately, so that when the full manifestation arrives, nothing can overpower it, nothing can diminish it, and nothing can compete with it. Your faith, your patience, your sincerity, your sacrifices, and your reliance on Allah have all converged to make you the vessel capable of carrying not only what has arrived, but also what is coming next, a level of provision, protection, opportunity, and purpose that will astonish even the closest angels who have been watching over you. You may have thought that your trials were endless and that your waiting was punishment, but in reality, it was preparation. Allah was calibrating every step of your journey, every decision, every encounter, every moment of doubt, and every silent prayer, so that when the time came to elevate you, the elevation would be beyond comprehension. What you hold today, this property, this blessing, is proof that Allah's timing is flawless, and that what was written for you could not have reached you any sooner. It is the precursor to a reality so vast, so transformative, and so powerful that it will redefine everything in your life. Your relationships, your work, your spiritual status, your influence, your peace, your legacy. This is the start of an era where Allah's favor will become undeniable, where the blessings that follow will carry exponential impact, where the people who tried to hinder you will realize that their interference was actually part of the divine plan to sharpen you and elevate you. You are being positioned for a future that is far larger than your imagination, far deeper than your heart can fathom, and far more sacred than anything you have ever experienced. And the most critical lesson in all of this is that you must remain patient, humble, and steadfast, because what is coming will require you to walk with discipline, integrity, and gratitude. This is only the introduction, chosen one, the first chapter, the first taste, the first revelation that you are being called to step into a destiny so grand that it will be whispered about in the unseen worlds and reflected in the lives of countless others. Do not underestimate the magnitude of what has arrived, for it is the key that unlocks the doors to every blessing, every elevation, and every station that Allah has prepared for you. And when what is coming next unfolds, you will finally understand why every tear, every delay, every moment of fear, and every trial was necessary, because it was shaping you into the chosen vessel, capable of handling blessings and responsibilities that were never meant for anyone else. So, hold this moment in your heart, recognize it as divine confirmation, and prepare yourself, because the address of your next level, the stage of your next chapter, the reality of your next blessing, is already being written by Allah, and when it appears, it will be far greater than anything you have yet imagined. Chosen one. Pause for a moment and let this truth sink deep into your heart. What has just unfolded in your life, this secret property, this divine blessing, this shift that came without warning, is proof that Allah has never forgotten you, never overlooked you, and never allowed anyone to steal what is rightfully yours. Every delay, every struggle, every tear, every silent dua, every lonely night, it was all preparation for this moment. And now, you stand at the threshold of a new chapter, a higher station, a destiny so aligned with your soul that even the heavens are orchestrating its perfection. Remember this: Allah's timing is flawless, His wisdom is infinite, and His favor is unparalleled. What you hold today is not just a gift, it is a sign, a confirmation, a calling. It is Allah saying, "You are ready, you have endured, you have leveled up. Now step into the destiny I wrote for you." Do not fear what comes next. Do not let doubts cloud your mind. Do not let the envy of others distract your focus. Walk into this blessing with gratitude, humility, and certainty. Protect it with sincerity, nurture it with patience, and honor it with faith. And know this above all: what you have received is only the beginning. Allah has far greater plans for you, doors you have yet to see, blessings you have yet to imagine, and a legacy you have yet to touch. So rise, chosen one. Rise with the confidence that you are walking exactly where Allah wants you to be. Stand firm, remain pure in heart, and let your life become the testimony of divine favor. And when the world wonders how you suddenly received what they could not even dream of, smile silently, for you know the truth. This is Allah's work, and it was written for you long before anyone else even existed. If this message touched your heart, comment below. I trust Allah's timing and embrace my blessing. Share this with someone who needs to know that Allah's promises never fail, and step boldly into the life that was always yours, because when Allah gives, nothing can stop it, and when He blesses, the heavens themselves celebrate.